I would like to thank each and every one of you all for being present here today, taking time out and coming for this very important interactive session. A very interesting topic with a lot of relevance to a lot of youngsters that I have had the privilege of meeting here today. I would say that we live in a sweet spot, that we are in the middle wherein our forefathers have witnessed the freedom struggle. Goa has seen its liberation. India has seen its fight from where the British left us to where we are today and where we want to be in 2047. It gives me great privilege to welcome each and every one of you all to Goa, a state so unique. As you all know, a lot of you all must have visited not only for this function but on many other occasions. With so much of mixed culture and a civilization so unique to its own, it gives me a lot of pride to host the CPA West Zone for all of you all here. And the role of us youngsters, how do we apply it? How do we make the best of it? With the topic of Vikasit Bharat, we all know that our nation turns a new leaf in 2047. 100 years of independence. It is a very big deal. The Vikasit Bharat and Antodaya means progress to the last member of our society. And it is not only the society that lives in the urban areas, but most importantly, the citizens that live in the rural areas. We were once frowned upon for having such a huge population, and what do we do with so many people? How do we manage them? What do we do with them? How do we employ them? And we still see that as a challenge today. And it is a difficult situation for each and every one of us, especially in a small state like Goa where everybody wants a government job. How do we provide government jobs for everybody? How do we make them understand that the private sector is also an opportunity? And if you work well, you work hard enough, there is always room for everybody to grow. As most of the young people here are probably in their early 30s to early 40s, it allows each and every one of us to look at what we are going to do for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years maybe in most cases. And the inspiration that most of our senior members here today that have represented their constituencies for 6 terms and 8 terms and 9 terms, it allows us to understand that if we work hard, if we are with the people, we do what the people want, people will keep getting us elected irrespective of all the other factors that determine whether you win or lose. I think we live in an era where the smartphones and today most importantly AI answers all our questions. Every thought we have, we can just type it in and it answers it for us. We don't need to learn how to use it. So I think the digital platform is something that everybody started using post 2014 elections. We all know that our Honorable Prime Minister, his campaign in 2014, how digital it was and how it reached every person out there through the online medium. Before Instagram now reaches every palm, the internet is so easily available that it makes things easy for us. And I'm sure that as we pave the way for newer people, we will have to learn from them because they know these prompts much more easier. They understand things more, it's more relevant for them. I want to offer 5 principles for young legislators. I'm not that old, as you all must have heard. Being the youngest deputy speaker to ever hold the chair in the state of Goa at the age of 33. The most important thing is I started off at a ground level. I urge all of you young legislators to make sure that that you all continue staying in touch with reality. Second, a step forward when it is the hardest. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Nelson Mandela. My father was a very senior politician in the state of Goa. I'm very proud that I hold a position that he did not hold, which is the deputy speaker's position. I have often thought about what prompted me to take this decision, because it was not very easy at the time. When somebody passes away, to fill in a gap of a very tall leader is not very easy. There is a lot of pressure from public. There is a lot of pressure about how you're going to face the people, how you're going to execute things that, they did so effortlessly. In the beginning, I had to write speeches. I had to worry about how it sounded. I had to worry about how I dressed. I had to worry about so many factors. But today, people ask me, how do you do it? And I'm like, it just comes naturally. Observing somebody who worked for so long made life, I guess, much easier. And of course, meeting people, networking with politicians across the country allowed me to understand how to continue this role. He once told me, while he was battling cancer, we were in the US for his treatment. And I asked him, Baba, I said, you want me to do this politics? Because I was just a corporate, I wasn't very sure whether, I wanted to do politics. Should I do politics? Do you want me to do politics? While you're still there, should I enter? What should be the future? So he gave me one piece of very simple advice. He said, always do the right thing, and nobody can ever stop you. Nobody can ever hurt you, and nobody can ever damage you. So that is something I hold very dear to me till today. Follow the right thing, do the right thing, help people, because ultimately people are the ones who elect us. Dr. Ambedkar's warning is relevant today as it was in 1949. Political democracy without social democracy at its base will not endure. Viksit Bharat will not be achieved through budget speeches alone. It will be achieved through the relentless, patient use of every legislative instrument. The questions, the calling attentions, the committee examinations, make sure that the government machinery is forced to act. We make them, we bring it to their notice. They listen, they don't listen. But when you say it on an official platform, that is when we force them to make sure that they get up and get the job done. The fourth point, the legislator must reflect the state and the nation. My father was the earliest leaders from the Indian minority Christians community who joined the BJP at a very early stage. He was one of the first, a choice that was not without consequences in the political climate of the 1990s. He held throughout his career the conviction that a person's personal faith should not be the ceiling on their political ambitions. And that is a legislator's that's what makes him the strongest. A Viksit Bharat that belongs to only one or some communities is not a Viksit Bharat. Young legislators from minority communities, from scheduled tribes, from historically suppressed regions, religions must not merely be present in our chambers. They must be heard, they must be supported, they must be given a tool, an institution that trusts and allows them to shape legislation. Fifth, treat legacy as a launchpad, not a monument. I've heard that a few of our members here have come from political families, and a lot of us, like myself, felt that it was a big burden because we have to fill in shoes, we have to represent somebody who's left such a strong mark and such a big impact. And I think if we use it right, we can make sure that every person that has represented us before has worked to a certain level. They have set the barrier, quite high in most cases, especially mine. How do you take it from there? I think the foundation is built. We just need to build on top of that. And that is how a skyscraper stands today. Without a good foundation, a skyscraper cannot exist. And I think all our parents, our forefathers, our relatives, or whoever has represented the constituencies has laid a foundation for the next generation. So the same way that we had this opportunity, we have to make sure that we aspire younger people to come into politics. We have to show them that there is scope, there is space. We, having such a young population, need to have more youngsters in politics. We need to inspire people to make sure that you encourage others to enter. Goa has always had young people in politics. Minister for Legislation, Mr. Marvin Gudino, who couldn't be here today, started his career at 24 years old. One of Mr. Victor Gonsalves must have left. He started at 27. There is another member who started at 26. So everybody started at a very young age. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is perhaps the most important contribution of a young leader is to build the culture of accountability in public life. In 1947, our founding fathers chose resilience. In 2047, we must choose excellence. The questions that are asked, the bills that are debated, and the constituencies that are served, and the citizens who are never forgotten. Young legislators are not the future. We are the present, is what I'm trying to say. I request all the senior parliamentarians, the speakers, and distinguished leaders to promote and propagate youth leadership. Information has to be transferred, and if information is not transferred while you all are there, information will be lost. Let us together build a Vikasit Bharat with integrity, with morality, and with an unshakable belief in our great nation. Jai Hind, Jai Gomant.